Call this meeting to order.
Recording in progress.
Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Robbins, if you will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
We join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Harris. This meeting is being conducted as a virtual and in-person meeting. So we'll do a roll call of the trustees to confirm attendance. Ms. Ginsburg. Here. Mr. Raza.
Present.
Ms. Langton. Here. Ms. Fessler.
Here.
Mr. Kehoe.
Present.
Mr. Moore.
Here.
Mr. Rue. Mr. Pantoja.
Here.
Mr. Robbins.
Here.
Mr. Harris.
Here.
And Mr. Green.
Present.
Trustee Langton will be participating under teleconference policy SB 707 related to a physical condition. Ms. Langton, can you please confirm if there are any trustees 18 years or older present at your location?
Trustees and no people either.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. Trustees, please raise your hand option to be placed in the queue. At this time, we ask all meeting participants to mute your mic until you're ready to speak. And then we may proceed with the agenda.
Excellent. Thank you very much. At this point, we're at for approval of minutes. I need a motion in a second to approve the minutes from the April 1st meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Ginsburg?
Yes.
Mr. Razzo?
Aye.
Ms. Langton?
Aye.
Aye, sorry. Ms. Fessler?
Yes.
Mr. Kehoe?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Pantoja?
Aye.
And Mr. Robbins?
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously.
Excellent. Now, 5 public comment. I have no.
We have
public comment.
one.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ms. Veronica Alvarez will be addressing the board.
Very
You have
good.
3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, members of the board. Thank you for speaking.
I'm to hear and consider my case. I served as a deputy probation officer with Los Angeles County for approximately 12 years. Of those, 9 years were dedicated to juvenile detention supervision, and 3 years were spent as a field officer supervising adults. I was always valued my career and providing assistance in successful navigating those that were currently on probation. During my time in juvenile detention, I was the victim of multiple physical assaults at the hands of our juveniles in our custody, as indicated on my medical and work injury history. Although these injuries were not visibly apparent, each incident had a lasting impact on my mental and emotional well-being. Over the time, these experiences contributed to the development of acute anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder. In 2023, I was reassigned to Juvenile Detention Center, where I initially approached this transition with optimism due to my prior experience. I soon began experiencing significant anxiety that interfered with my ability to perform daily duties. I became increasingly hypervigilant, easily startled by sudden noises, and uneasy in the presence of juvenile. Preparing for work often triggered my anxiety attacks, including hyperventilation, muscle spasms, and uncontrollable crying. As these episodes intensified and became more frequent, I sought medical attention. Following evaluation and treatment, I was formally diagnosed with PTSD and acute anxiety, which was directly correlated to my past assaults. I also experienced severe depression accompanied by my feelings of guilt for being unable to support my colleagues. At its worst, my depression left me withdrawn, lethargic, and unable to function. I underwent extensive treatment, including prescribed medications, group therapy, individual counseling. Despite these efforts, I know I am no longer the same person I once was. Due to these diagnoses, I have been medically deemed permanently disabled and unable to work at the detention facility as a deputy probation officer. Currently, I remain employed with LA County Probation in the role of a probation assistant. I am tasked to perform similar duties to that of a probation officer, but have the reassurance of not returning to a juvenile detention facility. Nonetheless, I continue to experience ongoing symptoms, including flashbacks and heightened anxiety, which can be triggered both outside of work and through interactions within the workplace. I actively apply these coping skills I've learned in therapy to manage these challenges. Although this is not the career path that I had envisioned, I remain proud of the years I have served the department. However, supported by my medical documentation, the lasting effects of my work-related injuries have resulted in permanent conditions that prevent me from safely performing the essential duties of my position. For these reasons, I respectfully request your approval for my disability retirement. Thank you again for your time and your consideration.
Thank you very much. Okay. We have no other public comments that I see. At this point, I think we will go into executive session.
Yes,
So we'll have to clear the room.
yes.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Good morning, trustees. We'll start with LACERA All-Stars. So each month we take a moment to recognize LACERA staff who have been nominated by their fellow staff members for going above and beyond the call of duty and helping each other and our members. This month we recognize Shushmita Aryal, Jay Fullwood, Roxanne Martin, and Elsie Gutierrez. Our rideshare winner was Liliana Ronquillo, and our web watcher was Maggie Luong. So thank you very much for everything that you do. With your permission, I'll transfer over to the member spotlight. So this is a chance for LACERA to recognize the public servants that care for the constituents of Los Angeles County. And it's also an opportunity for all of us to reflect on why we do what we do to serve our members and empower them to ensure a secure and healthy retirement. And so this month, we recognize one of our own, which is all the smiles and laughter, Richard Bendel, who has retired, as you know, after 31 years of service. Richard has spent his entire career, as far as I'm aware of, all in sort of like the audit area. He started out in the auditor controller's office. His proudest accomplishment was creating our internal audit department, which is really something special to be, and he should be proud of that because they keep making sure that we do everything the way we should be doing things. And they're incredible business partners, and we appreciate having them. So he's looking forward to spending time with his children and his grandkids, and he's planning to learn how to play the guitar and get into photography. So Richard, once again, we wish you a very long and healthy retirement. So now I will do my best to channel Louis in some manner, and we'll do the CEO update. So let me just switch gears here for a moment. There we go. So if we can go to slide 3, I'll start there, if we may. So just a reminder that our Board of Retirement offsite is coming up May 18th and 19th in Long Beach. The theme will be bringing the future into focus. And so as you can see, the agenda is designed to balance core fiduciary topics with forward-looking risks and opportunities. And we'll get a chance to hear from Mr. Lugo on his plans for how we're going to achieve that. Looking at new initiatives, governance, and fiduciary overview. Then we'll get some conversation about retiree healthcare landscape as usual. And then we will have some interesting topics for like artificial intelligence and security, cybersecurity. So it's looking to be a really good offsite, and we will see you there. Also, it is election season again. So you can see on the slide there that we've started publishing the election calendar. The candidate filing period begins on May 22nd and runs through June 22nd. Both the county and LACERA will be sending out notices to eligible voters and candidates. And then voting will begin on August 3rd and end on August 28th. And then hopefully by October 20th, the Board of Supervisors will certify the election results. So we will have a number of opportunities to collaborate with the Executive Office of the Board of Supervisors who oversees the election process and do a lot of collaboration there, including, I'll tease it now, a little video on why it's important to vote in elections. So that's coming up. I also, and I know Cassandra mentioned this in her in the Insurance Benefit and Legislation Committee, but we did have the Staying Healthy Together Retiree Wellness Program workshop with over 400 members attending. I had an opportunity to be there. It is something to see all of our members get together. They're super interested in the presentations. There was one on estate planning, and then we did, LACERA did one on a power of attorney and why that's important. And then to see all 400 people go through some exercises for wellness, it was just it was a tremendous event, and big props to everybody that put that on. Let's go to slide 4 really quickly. Hiring update. This month, we have a few folks joining us. Judith Kajulis is an accountant in financial and accounting services. Chona Labik Austin is an investment accountant. That's a promotion. And Edward Tomita is an investment accountant, and that's also a promotion. And then I want to take a moment here to introduce, if you'll bear with me while I get to the right screen here, Jessica Baxter. So if I can ask Jessica to join me. Jessica joins us with 25 years of executive experience, accumulating in her being appointed as a senior executive service member with the United States Marshal Service. She brings a deep expertise in human capital, budget oversight, and change management, and we are excited to welcome her to our leadership team as the new Assistant Executive Officer over the business solutions side of the house, business services side of the house. So Jessica, why don't you take a moment and introduce yourself?
Well, good morning. First off, I'm very honored to be here. Very honored. The welcoming I've gotten over the past 2 days has been hard. I feel in my heart, and I feel how important the organization is, not only to itself, but also to the members that we serve. From that perspective, myself and my wife, Kimberly, are deeply impressed and honored with everybody. I look forward to joining the team because I think it's important that the administrative services make sure that we fly straight. So I come from NASA too, so I'm huge into rockets. So just to kind of put that perspective, and what I said during my interview, and I'll say probably to everybody, flew in the face, and I apologize for that. But the administrative side may not be at the tip of the spear, but we're the fins that make it fly straight and hit the target. And so if we're not doing what we're doing, that means people can't do what they're doing. And so my job and my hope is that I can get the team together, we work, that we are a force multiplier to member services and the investment team to make sure that we keep this fund growing strong and we're taking care of our people, because that's the ultimate goal we have. So thank you again for welcoming me here. And I can't wait to meet each of you and work with you to move us forward. Thank you.
And then I just want to close out with one note. Today, there are 98 cases on our disability retirement agenda. Memory serves me correct, that is the highest number of cases we have ever brought to the board at one time. I think in the past, the highest was somewhere around the high 70s, maybe very low 80s. But that is a testament to the hard work of the disability team. I want to thank them for that hard work. This is also an example of, the recent staff that we were able to bring on board producing and a sign of good things to come as we continue to look at how we find ways to expedite, the disability process as much as we can. So I want to recognize the team for having that. And then really quickly, this is I know March Madness, we talk about it, it's March Madness. This is really the last month of March Madness is April, when we pay everybody. And I want to thank our benefits and member services team and everybody that works very hard to make sure that members get paid on time, correctly, when after that long and busy period of time of members retiring. So with that, I'll stand for any questions if there are any.
Well, I'll just say good job in getting all these cases to us, because it gave a new challenge to systems to keep everything running with this gargantuan document you pushed out to everybody, and it forced me to learn some new tricks. And so this was all a very good experience, seeing all these cases. So thank you very much, and keep them coming. We'd love to see that inventory constantly decreased. So
That is the goal. Thank you.
thank you. Okay, with that, we're ready to go into item 8, disability retirement applications on consent calendar. I will need a motion and a second to approve cases 898E through 930E.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Ginsburg?
Yes.
Mr. Razzo?
Aye.
Ms. Langton?
Aye.
Ms. Fessler?
Yes.
Mr. Kehoe?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Mr. Pantoja?
Yes.
And Mr. Robbins?
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously.
And now I need a motion and a second to approve cases 1087C through 1108C. So moved.
Okay. Ms. Ginsburg? Yes. Mr. Raza?
Aye.
Ms. Langton?
Aye.
Ms. Fessler?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Mr. Pantoja?
Yes.
And Mr. Robbins?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
And now I'll need a motion and a second to approve cases 2128D to 2163D. Second.
Ms. Ginsburg? Yes. Mr. Razo?
Aye.
Ms. Langton?
Aye.
Ms. Fessler?
Yes.
Mr. Kehoe?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Mr. Pantoja?
Yes.
And Mr. Robbins?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
And finally, we need a motion and approval, or motion and a second for case number 4523. Motion and a second. Second.
Thank you. Ms. Ginsburg?
Yes.
Mr. Razo?
Aye.
Ms. Langton?
Aye.
Ms. Fessler?
Yes.
Mr. Kehoe?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Mr. Pantoja? And Mr. Robbins?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. Now we're into consent items number 9. I need a motion and a second to approve, for all the for consent items A through L.
Move it.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Ms. Ginsburg?
Yes.
Mr. Razo?
Aye.
Langton?
Aye.
Ms. Fessler?
Yes.
Mr. Kehoe?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Mr. Pantoja?
Yes.
And Mr. Robbins?
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously.
Down to item 10, excluded from consent items, we have none. 11 non-consent items need a motion and a second.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Ginsburg?
Yes.
Mr. Razo?
Aye.
Ms. Langton? Ms. Fessler?
Aye.
Mr. Kehoe?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Mr. Pantoja?
Yes.
And Mr. Robbins?
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously.
And this has a presentation, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Right.
It's the disability management compliance downtown.
No, this is code of ethical conduct.
It's the reports. Oh, what? No, they're not, there's no presentation.
On this one?
Yeah, we approved the.
We
code of
approved
ethical
it.
conduct.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
without presentation.
Yeah.
Good, good, good. Okay, then we're now down to 12 reports. And that's at Disability Management and Compliance, DMC. Alternate work search presentation. Please proceed with the presentation.
I'll do some quick introductions while they make their way up.
Thank you.
Today, we have the Department of Human Resources with us today. As you mentioned, they're going to be doing a presentation on the alternate work search process. And sitting right next to me is Rochelle Welch. And I'd like to read her bio very quickly here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Rochelle so she can introduce the rest of her team that are also up at the podium. You take it away.
Alrighty. Rochelle Walsh. I am the principal analyst over at the Department of Human Resources. And with me, I have Ms. Stephanie Weeks, who is the supervisor that oversees the alternate work search process. Part of that team is also Mr. Mark LeBlanc, who also supports that initiative as well. And just to give a little bit of background, I am a lovely 20+ year veteran of human resources. And so what we do is we oversee the countywide program for disability management and compliance, which is your workplace accommodations. So let me go ahead and kind of get into.
Let's go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You can just go ahead and say next slide.
Oh, next slide.
Actually,
My
Myrna
sister.
is running it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So next slide.
Okay. Alrighty, so that kind of takes us to our presentation today. So under disability management and compliance, it's a process of supporting employees who request or applicants who have a medical condition and they are requesting some kind of workplace accommodation, and making sure that we're complying with the federal, state, and local laws. Next slide, please. So the two laws that primarily govern the interactive process is, of course, what we all know is the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA. And that federal law just basically states that an employer cannot discriminate against an employee or an applicant based on their disability in the hiring practice in their course and scope of work. And also under the California Employment and Housing Act, FEHA. It's basically the mirror of the state, the federal law that basically says there's no discrimination against employees or applicants with disabilities, and that we are obligated to go through the interactive process to find some kind of accommodation to put in place for these disabled employees. Next slide, please. Within the county, we are governed by PPG, or Policy, Procedure, and Guidelines 628 of medical release or reassignment. And so going through the interactive process, before we actually get to medical release, we do go through the reassignment process. And it basically says we have an obligation to determine if there are other positions in which a disabled employee can be placed that would match with their restrictions or their disabilities when they're not able to do so in performing their essential job functions of their current position. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is just super high level so that you understand like the process that it takes to get there. Whenever someone comes to us or comes to the county and says, hey, I've got this disability, it's permanent or it's chronic, or they've had some kind of restrictions that have been in place for greater than 12 months, then we start engaging them in that interactive process. We make sure that we're obtaining the medical documentation and the clarification that's needed by way of the different forms and things that we have as part of our framework. After we receive all that information, we go through exploring the accommodations and the options together. It's a two-way street, and it's the opportunity for the coordinator to meet with both the employee, with the department, with the supervisor to establish, do they have enough information, and can we in fact find some kind of accommodation to put in place to make sure that they're safely and fully working. Next in that process is the interactive process meeting, or the IPM. That's the buzzword of the day. Most people are familiar with what an IPM is, but it's basically that meeting that's held to try and establish what kind of accommodations can be put in place that's going to keep the employee working. Or some of the outcomes that may happen is they may return to work with those accommodations. There might be some ergonomic equipment that might be necessary, but where everything kind of comes into play for this audience is the alternate work search. That's going to be our primary focus today. There's also disability retirement. That means, of course, processing applications through you all. Or the last and final option of medical release, if either one of those are not viable options. Next slide, please. All righty, so just a little bit of the alternate work search process. So whenever a department receives some kind of permanent work restrictions, we review those restrictions and we determine through the interactive process if they can be accommodated in their position. If they cannot, then we try and go through the alternate work search phase, which again, we are searching, starting within the department first, and then going countywide to see if there is some other position within the county that we can place them that's going to meet their restrictions. Now, whenever they get into this process, it then triggers the salary supplement application, because when they are placed on an item, if it happens to be a lower level item and there is a gap in pay, that's where that salary supplement application is going to come in play. But we want to make sure that we're getting a head start on submitting that information so that by the time that process is completed, hopefully the application, there would have been a determination made on that. Once we make that job offer to the employee, if possible, again, if there is that gap, hopefully they've been approved and they'll be able to receive that difference in pay. Next slide, please. Alrighty. If we are not able to find a position, or the department is not able to find a position after 3 months, then the referral comes over to my team. So the lovely folks that you see here with me today, it comes over to our countywide search, and we do continued search for another 6 months. If we see that that application, the salary supplement application, hasn't been submitted at the onset, that is our opportunity again to go ahead and submit that to the panel here. If we're not able to find that countywide position, we send the case back to the department, and that at that point they will need to file for disability retirement. So kind of a second bite at the apple. Again, it helps to have the salary supplement application already in place, because by the time you get to disability retirement, the majority of that process has already taken place. And so it kind of shortens that time a bit for the employee experience. Now, if they do not cooperate with the disability retirement application and that process is closed, then we move towards medical release. Next slide, please.
I have a quick question.
Of course.
If you don't mind. The 6-month window, and we're getting in the countywide search, and so the next step, as you said, is like basically enlisting them into considering retirement, correct? And now without that salary supplemental application in, they would still retire out of their own classification, right? With all the royalties and county rules as far as separation and last day work and all that stuff.
If they wish, if they are medically released, and sometime later down the road, let's say they say, okay, I'll go ahead and process the retirement, they do have that option to provide. Or
yeah, so say an employee has 27 years, they're about retirement age, they could proceed with that. But so they go out in their classification. I'm thinking safety versus general. Sometimes there's some different things in classification. When it gets to the point of let's say they, like you said, they don't want to, and you can't find something now that there's no reclassification. So does that force them into a medical retirement at the 50% of salary, highest year you earn? Only 50. Yeah.
Thank you. So the member always has the right to say, no, I don't want it, and just proceed with the regular SCD or NSC, depending on what's granted. If the member can also take the position, work for a number of years and say, I'm done, and they would retire with their full SCD or NSCD benefits, depending on what the board finds.
But the FCC is always that 12-month rolling period of the highest amount in 12 months. So even if
yes.
So I guess my question, and I appreciate you addressing this, is if it gets to a point where they're forced into a medical retirement, they're determined medically incapable, and there's no accommodation through reclassification, does that get to the point where they just get that medical retirement at 50% of their salary?
No. So the pension will be based on their years of service. So let's just say that they're have a 65% retirement based on the years of service. And the first 50% of that would have the tax benefit of an SCD. However, if, let's just say they worked a few years and had maybe a 35% retirement amount, they would be limited to the 50% with the survivor benefit. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Again, that's why these salary supplements are so beneficial to the employee, because they continue earning retirement credits, and they've already established they have this disability. So it just gets to where they just can't handle it anymore. Boom, they can go. So yeah, we love these. These are really good things. So we encourage them to be pursued whenever possible, particularly with the younger. When someone is late in their career, it may not be so appropriate, but when you've got 35, 40-year-olds and It's like, guys, you still have a career ahead of you somewhere. And the county should be able to find, pretty big county, find something for you to do and give you a lot of value. So yeah, we really appreciate that.
Right. So that kind of brings me to the next few slides, which is how do we determine appropriate positions? So at the county, it must be a position that is vacant, funded, and approved to be filled. It's offered at the same or less salary than the employee's previous position. It cannot be a promotion. We have to make sure that the employee meets the minimum criteria. So if there's any testing, any civil service requirements, we go through all that vetting to make sure that they meet that the minimum requirements. And also that the employee can fully and safely perform the essential job functions of that alternate position with or without the reasonable accommodation. And that's determined through a secondary IPM that we hold with them as we're going through the process. Next slide, please.
I have a question.
Of course.
Does the current hiring freeze for the county impact our ability to fill items?
We are working with CEO to see what we can do. We don't have any specific directives right now. We're kind of still making those attempts to try and fill on what can be filled, because there are some exempt positions that might be available. But for now, we're still trying to kind of plug along in the process as best we can, but connecting with CEO to see what opportunities we do have amongst the hiring freeze.
And historically, has that been an issue? I know there's been past hiring freezes. It sounds to me like we can't fill the items if they're frozen, right? So that would limit our ability to actually be able to provide this to potential disability retarees.
Yeah. Again, we try where we can. This is my first freeze. I'm a little bit of a newbie. So I'm not quite sure what happened in previous years, but again, we do what we can with what is available, the ones that are exempt. Yeah.
I would encourage our staff to proactively reach out to the CEO's office and highlight this as a potential concern, and perhaps try and get them to have some sort of exemption for this, because actually this might actually turn out to be beneficial to us if that's the only way to fill some of these items, right? And it's better than the county losing an employee who's willing to continue to work. So I think we can make this work, but we should probably do it on the front end and bridge that gap. So I'll throw that out there for staff's
And can I just follow up? I think it's also better than the county getting sued for disability discrimination. They have an existing policy that creates this opportunity, and it would be wise, it seems to me, for them to, and they have an existing policy for exemptions when there's a freeze. It would be wise to consider how those two things need to be read together to avoid, the policy exists to avoid the opportunity for disabled employees to file for disability discrimination. And in order to comply with that policy in the freeze, they really should consider this a standalone exemption from the freeze. So I totally agree with what you say, but I'm trying to offer some bolstered justification or encouragement for the county making a smart choice right here.
Mr. Chair, I have some Cyril law too that I could briefly touch on as well. So under Cyril, the county can't medically separate an employee without first filing an application on the member's behalf. So they're obligated under the statute to make an application and follow the direction of the board. If they don't, they could be subjected to having to pay the members full salary for any time that after they medically separate them. So there's some teeth in the law.
And yes, information has been provided from DHR to CEO along those lines. So we're working that on that side. Next slide, please. And as far as the placements that we've had as of recent, we haven't seen any issues. And my team can speak better to the success rate that we have had. But so far, haven't seen too many barriers. Cross our fingers that, you know, we're able to have some wiggle room with that. But so far, it's still been pretty consistent with us being able to make our placements. Alrighty. So criteria for determining if an employee, the employee's qualifications. So when we do get those employees who reach the alternate work search phase, we're making sure that we're looking at their work history, at their resume, any previous experience they may have had, you know, prior to working at the county. And of course, if any positions require any kind of test or typing requirements, we make sure that we expedite that for them, get them certified where we need to for any one of those clerical roles, so that we're not slowing down the progress and delaying the placements for them. If a position has any licensing requirements, we're making sure that they meet that criteria. We go through with a fine-tooth comb all the different positions and the requirements and making sure that we're placing them someplace where they will be successful. Next slide, please. All right, so a couple of common questions that we get is what happens if the employee is denied salary supplement or disability retirement, which kind of tags on to what you asked earlier. If the position is accepted and the employee is still placed into that position, it just means that they will have that gap if their salary supplement is not approved. If the employee appeals with LACERA process, but we've reached the end of the 6 months without the position, we will proceed with medical release, but they always do have that 2-year reinstatement clause that's in place. Next slide, please. How are Plan E members handled through the process since they're not eligible for salary supplements? And for those folks, the DMC process is not the change, does not change. It's the same because we do have to remain consistent in that process. Of course, the only difference is that we don't send a salary supplement application. If they do accept the position and it is a demotion, there is a reduction in pay for them. If they don't cooperate with the LACERA process or refuse an offer with that we've made to them or refuse a position that we've made for them, then the process ends there and they are medically released. And but again, they can still come back and submit for regular retirement later should they choose to. Okay. Next slide, please. And just a couple of program updates. Through our alternate work search cases we've accepted, they have doubled between 25 and 26 fiscal year. So that's good news somewhat. But we do make sure that we try and make every effort possible to find positions for them. Our DHR oversight of the alternate work search process with the probation department. I know that question kind of comes up quite a bit. There have been an increase in the alt work search cases due to the work restrictions that can't be accommodated, but specifically with that particular department, that did contribute to our increase in cases. But we've been pretty successful in finding positions, alternate positions within the probation department for those employees. And then the monitor adherence, we make sure that we're emphasizing the importance of tracking these cases and early engagement and making sure that they are proactive in follow-up, making sure that these positions are in fact working for these employees, because if there is an interruption, then we can come back to the table and discuss where we need to. And I believe I see a hand up. Oh, sorry.
But I want to wait till you're all done.
Okay. Of course, next slide, because that leads us to our questions.
That's where we are. There you go. Nice enough. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks for the presentations. Very, very informative and very helpful. I have some questions surrounding this whole process. You taught that the whole presentation, at least as I understood it, it refers to a process that is initiated by an employee.
Correct.
Can the county department initiate this process on behalf of an employee as well?
Yes. So in starting the interactive process, there are 3 triggers. There is request, knowledge, and observation. Observation is usually that one that could be county triggered, and that just simply means you notice visibly something changing with the employee that then brings them into the interactive process. So yes, the county can trigger on their side at least an observation and bringing forward to the employee, hey, we see this. Let's come to the table and let's talk about it and see if we can find, well, A, establish, is there a need? Do you have a need for an accommodation? And B, what can we do?
Okay. And then you also talked about the search for the alternate position.
Yes.
What happens to the employee during that time? I mean, if assuming they've already been determined to not be able, you don't search for the position until there's a determination that they're not medically able to perform their original position, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, so what's the status of the employee if that takes a few months? Are they paid? Are they required to use their medical leave? What if they run out? What happens?
They are placed on leave of absence. Of course, any protected leave that they have under FMLA and CFRA, we do put that in place, make sure that time is designated. But generally, they can apply for short-term disability, long-term disability. So that all runs concurrently while we are in the process of searching. And of course, if they would like to opt out and use their own accruals, they have that flexibility as well.
Okay, and then my final question goes to, you indicated that the number of these searches that you've done doubled over the last year, and it sounds like it's almost exclusively due to issues in the probation department, which we've seen in other regards as well. But separating that out, what is the typical number of employees that you've processed through this, excluding this bump that happened that kind of threw everything off? I'm just curious about the volume.
We've averaged about 30 or so, between 30 and 40 active cases at any time throughout the last several years. And then plus the probation cases. So yeah, I would say at a low end, maybe we had about 24 active cases, and now we're at about just under 40, I think, plus probation.
Okay, but that's active at any point in time, but it takes some time to resolve them. I'm trying to figure out how many people you've placed during, say, a fiscal year.
I have my laptop. I can pull the information up. I don't have it.
No, I'm just a ballpark. I don't need an
I
detailed
believe
number.
in the last set of data, it was probably about the same. So about 30-ish in the fiscal year.
So it takes a period of time to
Correct.
complete the process.
Correct.
Okay, thanks very much. That's all I have.
Anyone else? Hands up. Thank you very much.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate your time.
No problem.
Your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That takes us reports B, C, D, and E were for information only, unless people have questions on them. Seeing no indication that's the case, takes us down to items for staff review. No items for staff review. Items for future agendas. Seeing none. Good of the order. We'll go around the horseshoe. Jason, start.
Glad to see everybody, and happy to be here. And that's it.
That's good.
Yes, great to meet the new AEO. Welcome. Thank you for the reports, and Sunday's Mother's Day. Don't forget your moms.
That's right. Never forget mom. Right.
I just have a couple things. First of all, I'm glad to be back in person and appreciate people's good wishes while I was gone. Welcome, Jessica. I'm just curious to know how the proximity of JPL had any impact on your decision to join LACERA. As a NASA buff, you must be excited to be literally 10 minutes away. So
Very, very excited. Ironically, they were our competitor when I worked at Goddard.
Okay.
So it's fascinating seeing the other side now, but very excited to be here.
good. Congratulations. And then finally, I just wanted to, we didn't speak about the issue or the item, but the Code of Ethical Conduct is superb. And I really want to congratulate and commend all the staff that worked on that. I know I put you guys through lots of hoops at the Acre Committee, and you did a really great job of incorporating those concerns and addressing them in the final product. And it speaks highly of the dedication of all of the people involved with that. And I want to call out Steve, even though he's not here. Hopefully he's listening. And I know this was one of his pet projects, and he must feel like a new dad or something with this being adopted today. It's, you know, he's going to be passing out See's candy bubblegum cigars or something when he gets back. So congratulations.
Sean.
I started my 90-day countdown calendar. So
There you go. Very good. Very good. Thanks. Mr. Moore.
Oh, it was a great meeting, especially the uniqueness. And I guess this is like a very what's it, once in a lifetime, maybe once in a career opportunity to hear the Supreme Court arguing your case. So this is a good meeting. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Rue.
Great meeting. Congratulations to those who retired, and congratulations to our new AEO. And very nervous. I've been asking all the lawyers how they interpret it, but I guess in 90 days we'll know, right?
So 90 days.
Yeah. Congratulations to our newest addition, to our newly retired. It was a great meeting, and for my sake, you know, I went to law school. I haven't taken the bar, but it was something else to hear the oral arguments for the Supreme Court for the state of California. So I was excited about that. Thank you.
Yeah. And Ms. Langton. Go to the order.
Sorry, just trying to unmute. Yeah, just adding on to what everybody said. After 32 years of being an attorney, it's still exciting to watch the court deliberate or hear oral argument. I'd love to hear them deliberate, but can't wait for the opinion. That's first. Second, and not any less important, welcome, Jessica, our new AEO. Looking forward to working with you. I'm one of those that will be emailing you and calling you a lot because I'm just one of those people. So you might as well get to know me from now. The other thing, I love Bobby's comment about the, the ethics document, Code of Ethical Conduct. I would like to add Jess Rivas to that because I feel like she did so much of the heavy lifting that I just want to make sure that she's acknowledged out there. And finally, happy Mother's Day to everybody. Hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you. Mr. Robbins has stepped out of the room, so I will go ahead and end. Again, welcome. So glad you're here. I think you're really going to enjoy working here. I would think this would be a little different environment in DC or wherever federal location you were at, but you will find it. This is a wonderful place to work, and I think it's a good environment to live in. So welcome. Glad you're here. And I also want to echo comments on the Code of Ethical Conduct. That's why I was kind of taken aback when I was reading this. I'm thinking, this was a presentation. I'm thinking, if anybody read this thing, I don't know why they need a presentation, because it was so well written, so cogent how you put this thing together. And kudos to everyone. This was just a really first class piece of work. I think we can all take a victory lap. You can all take a victory lap on this one. It really, I think, speaks to the strength of this organization, but you're the strength of the organization bringing it together. So thank you for that.
I would like to say it was 99.9% Miss Rivas. I would have probably run screaming from the building if I did what she did. She was like an air traffic controller, landing everybody's opinions. She did a phenomenal job. So Jess, please stand up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. It was a great, great piece of work. And I did hear some of that sausage making going on. So it's like, whoa, boy, you did good. Okay, with that, we are going to go into closed session to handle disability retirement cases.